When you think of a psychopath, you probably think of someone like Ted Bundy or Charles Manson or Jeffrey Dahmer, as do many other people, because there's quite a big misconception around what a psychopath is or psychopathy in general. Everyone thinks that that term means someone who's some violent serial killer. And although that is some of the psychopath population, the concept of a psychopath or a disorder or personality, whatever you want to call it, it's actually a sliding scale. It's not necessarily black or white. And you actually have functioning psychopaths and dysfunctional psychopaths. So a lot of the people in jail would be the dysfunctional psychopaths. You could refer to them as having antisocial personality disorder. Whereas you can also have very high functioning psychopaths who aren't necessarily violent, who fit very well into society. And you have probably come across, or at least know, many more psychopaths than you really think. They make up about 1% of the population. And you'd probably be shocked to know that they also are not only very common in our world, but actually play very important and essential roles. This could be lawyers, this could be doctors, surgeons, politicians, police, military, what have you. And in this book, which is one of my favorites of all time, The Wisdom of Psychopaths, he talks about how many psychopaths play their part in society, and to the point where we are actually heavily reliant upon them. Because if you think about it, would you want your brain surgeon to be some neurotic, highly strung, anxious character like Woody Allen? Or would you want him to be very calm, collected, very low in arousal, low in anxiety, almost to the point of being emotionless, where he can just be completely calm and in the moment and do the surgery as needed? You probably want someone who scores high in psychopathy to be your brain surgeon, because psychopaths tend to be very calm under pressure. Basically, anxiety is just completely unknown to them. Yes, they have other characteristics like low empathy and ruthlessness, but when it comes to basically getting certain things done, you want psychopaths in certain roles in society. For example, politicians. Nobody can lead the United States of America, I believe, who isn't a psychopath. You have to be calm under pressure. You have to be ruthless to be able to make very utilitarian decisions and policies. And for that reason, you need to be lower in empathy to make those brutal decisions. You need them to be extraordinarily calm under pressure. You need them to be extraordinarily charismatic for them to get elected. And you need to have someone who is so self-assured about themselves. They are so narcissistic to think that they can actually run for the role of being the leader of the free world. So it's just natural that a lot of those positions, or that position, is probably going to be made up by a psychopath. Maybe not always, but it's probably the case. So anyway, he conducts a series of awesome interviews with many different people who score high in psychopathy, from Marines to surgeons to lawyers, real estate agents, what have you. And if you're a psychology buff like me, it's a fascinating insight into the minds of almost creatures that think and behave entirely different to you, assuming you are a more typical person who falls maybe on the middle or the lower end of the psychopathy scale, where you are high in empathy and you are prone to anxiety and fear and what have you. There's some very interesting insights in there. And the title Wisdom of Psychopaths, he basically extracts a lot of the wisdom that only this type of personality or genetic makeup can really have, and offers to us non-psychopathic people things that we can apply to our life. Now, obviously, when done in a moral and ethical way, he makes a very strong point in that, right? He's not talking about anything unethical. He's talking more about a lot of Stoic principles. Anyways, I know it might be a bit of a bizarre recommendation. It might sound a little bit dark, but I promise you that's not necessarily the case. It's a lot more profound than that. And not only is it a very entertaining and thought-provoking read, but it's very mind-opening. It actually expands your awareness and understanding of what psychopathy is. It makes you actually grateful that a lot of these people actually exist and help to make our society function, and also being able to take a lot of wisdom and insight from who are normally very highly intelligent and very rational and logical and almost stoic thinkers that you can apply to your life in a positive way when ethically and morally right to do so. So really fun read, insightful read, The Wisdom of Psychopaths. Check it out.